Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Awesome 80s Podcast. This is Michael.
This is Lawrence. Hi, Michael.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. It's been a long time since we've podcasted.
It's sometimes October's a good month, sometimes October's a super good month for podcasting, but you know what? We are putting a podcast out for people to enjoy for free. By the way, for free.
Normally we do this weekly. Garon, you were on like our second to last episode. That was like a month and a half ago.
Oh, wow. You guys are busy.
Well, we took some time. Michael and I decided to tour this Midwest of ours and watch our heroes, the Chicago Cubs, take the field.
Nice.
During the playoffs. So we had a lot of playoff experiences, some positive, some negative, some involving other continents. It was good times, bad times. But it's over, and then we needed a week to recuperate from the loss.
So you took the good.
Please do it.
You took the bad. Did you take them all?
I took them all.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
These are the facts of life.
Exactly.
It's all about you. The facts of life is all about you turning the facts of life. Wait a minute.
We probably could have had a podcast out sooner, but it feels like we just had a friend that was like in a weird motorcycle accident, and if either of us talked to each other about anything, we would have talked about that. You know what I'm saying?
So we haven't talked in 2 weeks.
10 days, like 10 days, whatever.
10 days, because we didn't want to talk about it. I didn't call you because I didn't want to talk about it. You didn't call me because you didn't want to talk about it. We just decided, without telling each other, we need this time. We've known each other for a long time. We both know what we need. We took that time. So welcome back, Garon. Thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Always a pleasure to be on.
I don't know if you're going to say that after we do tonight's episode, but I appreciate you being a sport.
There's 5 good minutes to talk about in this movie.
Do we have any other thing? I guess we don't have a lot of housekeeping to discuss beforehand because we haven't really done episodes for a while. I do want to also, as always, thank MF Jones. He got everything ready as I was parenting. And I was about to say, so what's with this term adulting? Oh, I have to adult today. It's the stupidest fucking thing ever. I don't want to get off on a rant here, but I also do want to tell everyone that they should buy this book.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's right here. About the author, there's a picture of Garon. He's looking kind of like, yeah, I wrote this. I did that.
That's good stuff right there.
It is good stuff. So hold on here. I'm going to call over, while we're talking, I'm going to call over our guy over here, MF Jones. Hi, MF Jones.
Hello.
So we're going to talk about a movie. I picked a horror movie, guys. Aren't you so excited? Isn't everyone excited?
I'm excited. Glenn is one of my favorites of all time.
Was this the first time you ever watched it, Michael?
I think I might have seen it on the wall of a video store in the 80s, but that'd be the extent of my experience with this movie.
Garon, when is the last time you saw this prior to me sending you a message? All right. Didn't you watch it recently or no?
I watched it late last year, I think.
Okay.
So about a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not one that I had on the agenda to watch anytime soon.
Did it make the 365, or was just like an extra?
No, it did. It's today's movie.
Yeah.
Today's movie.
So you're up to date?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Up to date.
So I remember these kids down in the neighborhood when I was growing up, and they always watched this movie. And like their parents loved it, and they loved it, and it was always on at their house. So I would watch bits and pieces, but I don't know if I ever like watched the full thing.
Can you guys hear those dogs?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
We're a dog-loving podcast. Also, quick question for Michael. My wife wants to know what Lady Baby is for Halloween.
We were gonna do an Ewok, but we might do Yoda too. We'll see.
Did you have like no time left?
No, we have both costumes. It's still up in the air.
MH seems to want Yoda from his facial expressions.
We'll see. Maybe we'll do both. We'll see.
Well, it wouldn't be Yoda then. It would be. I'll text him the name of the person. It would be if he does a female Yoda.
Okay. All right. My bad. I'm sorry. How come she can't be Yoda? Who says she can't be Yoda? There's chick Boba Fett's all over the internet right now. By the way, just saying.
They're sexy and amazing.
So, Garon, if that is your real name.
It is. I would have said unfortunately 10 years ago, but I've grown to enjoy it.
So, I wanted to do this movie because it's the only horror movie I remember from my childhood. I don't remember watching it all the way through until last night. And I stand by my decision of picking this movie. Now, that does not say it is a good movie. Do not mistake that. But I stand by my decision of picking this movie. So let's talk about it. It's called Motel Hell.
It's about an agrarian fella who just is the salt of the earth kind of folk. They're farmers, but they also have a small business that is a hotel on their property. I'm sorry, a motel on their property.
A motel. And they enjoy making smoked meats, like myself. I enjoy making smoked meats.
Oh, boy.
World Health Organization be damned. I enjoy making smoked meats. So, what do you like to do?
If this movie teaches us anything, it's not to trust a smoked meat.
See, and that's the down part of this movie. Because smoked meat isn't just something that someone just put on a grill for 10 minutes, Garen. Smoked meat takes hours of love and attention.
Well, we've learned how to do it in this movie. You have to plan it. Well, let's let you go through it. I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay, so Vincent, he's crazy. He's a farmer. He presumably in the first 5 minutes of the movie, there's not a lot of dialogue. We're just watching this old man stalk around this farm. And he's crazy, and he causes a motorcycle accident outside of his house. So that's okay, right? I mean, everyone has hobbies.
He seems like a nice guy besides that.
He really does, doesn't he?
He's a charming older guy.
Yeah, could charm the pants off of anyone, literally.
Just real quick, like every horror movie has the guy who's kind of sane when he meets other people, and then he goes crazy when he's by himself or when he's with the victims.
I believe they call them people sociopaths.
Yes, but in this movie, he's just the nicest guy the whole time. Even when they have like the final battle scene, like he's just like, "Hey, I'm Vince the farmer. Hey." Like he never goes crazy. He's never like covered in shit crazy. You know what I'm saying?
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. I mean, as far as
run a business.
Yes. No thanks to Obama's or whatever. So Glenn, so you remember watching this on like you'd go to kids' houses in your neighborhood and you'd watch it. I think Glenn might have frozen.
I think we offended him by making fun of Farmer Vincent.
Okay.
Should we apologize?
That's fine. I'm sorry, Glenn. So Garon, you talked about 5 minutes of this movie that you did enjoy, or 5 scenes that you enjoyed. What do you remember?
It's the end.
God damn it! But the battle is pretty good.
Yeah, that's it. And the iconic imagery. This is one of those VHS tape movies that I always saw.
Yeah, like I remember seeing it in the video store.
And I never watched it. And the iconic imagery from this movie is the pig head. And not to jump so far ahead, but we don't really get to see a lot of that pig head.
In the very beginning, they have 2 little redheaded girls, very similar to the little redheaded girls in with John Candy. He goes on vacation, The Great Outdoors.
Yeah.
And it's like, but they have these 2 little redheaded twins, and they go and they find the slaughterhouse, and then there's that fake head just shows up out of nowhere, that fake pig head, and it is creepy. It is a really good fake head.
It is. I wonder if they're the same girls from that movie, from The Great Outdoors.
I think it's like.
Oh, no, this is from 80.
This is 1980. But they do have, I guess my favorite part would be the chainsaw on chainsaw violence.
Yeah,
I thought that was fantastic. It was 5 years, 7 years before Thunderdome. When did Thunderdome come out? Like 87?
I think so.
Yeah, and this was like chainsaw violence, and it's like, this is fantastic. I love this. But the one thing about just stupid horror movies is, I mean, it's not a good movie. We review a lot of crap on this podcast, and this is a horrible movie. But it felt like that, and like if you have any kind of stupid idea, it's a lot easier to get that idea off the ground when it's a horror movie. Like,
Yep.
how about we just bury people in the backyard and we harvest them and make smoked meats? All right, greenlit. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and do this.
Oh man, I don't understand any of what that had to happen.
But it just kind of feels like, I mean, even with like recent like television programs like Hannibal, like it feels like if it's a horror thing, they let you get away with more. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, no, they do. You're able to suspend reality a lot easier in something that you can classify as horror than anything else. I mean, look at Hannibal jumped up. Someone just put out a top 25 horror shows of all time. Hannibal's number 2.
Really? Okay.
So I mean, people love it.
So back to the 365. How did you? So is this just something everybody on the internet was doing? Because I remember in January everybody was talking about doing stuff like this.
I don't know why I did it. I just thought, you know what? I have a Tumblr. Let me do this with it.
So when you get done, you do like a little synopsis and everything.
Yeah, I take the synopsis from IMDb, and then I just sort of put a little blurb as to what I thought about it. Nothing too substantial, but
You don't give like a star rating or anything.
no, not for this.
Okay.
Actually, I do give a star rating on my Letterboxd account.
Oh,
I'll just
okay.
copy it over to that,
Okay.
and then I'll put a star rating. But in the normal one, it's just a quick, this is cool, the acting's good, blah, blah, blah. That's it. Nothing in depth.
Have you seen, like, what's the best movie you saw and what's the worst movie you saw?
The best so far, I
Even
think
if it's
Room.
even if it's the top 2 or 3. What is it?
I think it's Room right now
Okay.
with Brie Larson.
Okay. So
And-
you saw that in the theater then?
Yeah, I saw it last Friday.
Okay.
And the worst, what's the name of this one?
Hotel or Motel Hell.
I don't know what the worst one is. Right, I've seen a few that have been kind of,
Was there any that you thought were going to be good and then they ended up being horrible?
The Fulci movies that I watched last week.
Okay.
Like The Beyond is good, and then I watched, what's the other one called? House by the Cemetery, and City of the Living Dead. They're a snooze. They're boring. The effects are fantastic, but they're just
Okay.
And people love them. They're highly regarded. I was kind of bored.
So I guess this Vincent Smith, he was based off the same serial killer that was in Psycho and in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Do you think there's going to be other? Do you think there's going to be other movies that you're just going to keep making? This was based on a true story, but it's nowhere near. It kind of seems like this might be closer to the true story than Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Psycho.
You know what? Ed Gein is a tricky character. He's kind of fascinating.
All right, new rule.
Okay.
When Michael makes Obama comments, Lawrence's internet goes down.
Well, how am I supposed to quote my grandfather, Glenn? How am I supposed
When
to
Michael makes Obama comments, Lawrence loses internet.
Okay.
There is a direct cause and effect. Go consult the videotape. Not 1 second after you make an Obama comment, Lawrence loses internet. Just think about it.
I'm trying to remember my grandpa, and his hate of Obama is what I remember the most, Glenn. So.
Well, your grandpa was a racist ass.
He was more, I would say, ass, not
That's
an
the best
asshole.
Yeah. All right. So,
We're
first,
done. We finished.
great. Now let's get naked.
So what is it? So after he doesn't kill people, he knocks them unconscious.
Yeah. So what have we covered? Let's give me a recap. I'm
So
happy to know
Red
that
regret the accident.
The first accident?
Yeah.
Oh, what have you guys been talking about for 5 minutes?
Well, all different kinds of stuff.
All right. I can't wait to go back and rewatch it.
Okay.
Okay. So here we go. So did we get to where he brings the blonde into the house?
We're right there, Glenn. Right there.
He brings her into the house.
And and the girl that lives there, that's his sister, correct?
No. That's got to be his wife.
But
no,
they're
it's
getting
his sister.
it's his
I
sister.
know, but we don't find that out for like an hour and a half, and it really freaked me out when we found
Well,
out.
she's a total les, so it's not like it matters anyway.
Well, you have the gaydar, I don't.
Can I say? Am I allowed to say total?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey-o.
It says explicit, so.
Unless you go on YouTube. Hey, by the way, we've made a shit ton of $3 in the last few weeks. We're gonna have a meeting afterwards, and MF Jones is gonna go over the financials, Michael.
Oh yes, of course.
But let me tell you something. That Joyce Hauser, or whatever her name is, from Just One of the Guys, that's the golden goose that just keeps on giving.
Okay. Cocaine, prostitutes. All right. Can we get a dog? Can we get an Awesome 80s podcast dog?
No.
All right, fine.
Well, maybe. I don't know. My dog has surgery tomorrow, and if he doesn't make it, then yeah.
We had a shitty cat that I did not enjoy in my house, and it just died. And now I'm ripping up the floors. So I want to get a dog. So throw it out.
My dog may die tomorrow. Why do we gotta talk about it?
I'm sorry.
Why are you so insensitive to me?
Which dog?
I only have one dog.
How old is it? It's Henry, right?
Yeah, he's 6. He has cancer.
Oh, that
Oh.
sucks. Thanks for bringing it down, Glenn. Happy Halloween.
Fuck your grandpa.
God damn it. God damn it.
All right. So the woman, he brings the girl into the house. She's kind of knocked out. Him and his Leslie's sister are kind of just checking on her. And then they go downstairs because people are there. $2.95 for a box of smoked meats, by the way, is a steal. That is a $40 gift of veal by today's markets.
I was touched by a gift.
I was Niagara Falls, Frankie Angel. Niagara Falls. $2.95 for a box of smoked meats. I don't know how he's making money. I don't know how he's staying in business. That doesn't even pay for the. Oh, wait a minute. It does pay for the meat. We'll talk about it. Creepy twin girls in Small Wonder outfits.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit with the giant fake, like the fake pig head. The fake pig head was fantastic. It's one of the best parts of this movie is that pig head. Like on the internet, everywhere is those people in those giant weird horse heads. I wish they made the pig head like this in this movie.
We had at my workplace today. It was trick or treat, so everyone brought in their children. My son this year, instead of going as the 10th Doctor from Doctor Who, went as the 11th Doctor. Everyone's like, no one got his costume until we went to the upstairs floor where all the programmers are. And not only they get it,
he's number 11. Look, he's number 11.
They did. That's what they were doing. Like, oh my God, number 11. Look at the pocket watch and bow tie. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? I was like, Jake, you found your people. You found your people. He's doing a lot with 3D printers these days, my son.
You really?
Yeah, he really is.
They got pens now that you can draw, like 3D stuff comes out of a pen.
No, he's in this 3D printer club where they make guns and stuff. I don't know, America.
That seems like a bad idea.
Well, you know,
This goes on a plane.
Gets through metal detectors.
What happened to trying to make like girls on 3D printers?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Like weird science. What?
I was just gonna say he's got a weird science in this shit, don't you?
When's he gonna make a vagina clean?
We're like, oh,
Or whatever.
oh, it's not good. Can we think of Garon here?
It's not gonna come out of the carpet, Glenn. Whatever he does, it's not gonna come out of the carpet.
Hardwood floors, guys. Hardwood floors.
Tell him to go to the bathroom. Like if you see him by himself, just be like, "You need to go to the bathroom."
So, definitely Small Wonder outfits, though.
Yeah, Small Wonder outfit. This kind of like the Great Outdoors. Like it was like the creepy twins in that.
Yeah, this says move your clock. You move your clocks 1 hour ahead. You move our clocks 1 hour back.
Okay, hold on. I don't know. There's apparently a. Here's the problem.
It's a work issue.
Here's the problem, guys.
Okay.
I have this great studio that is donated to me, so I don't have to deal with my family and podcast. I have this awesome producer who puts everything together in situations like with Michael shutting down the internet with Obama. I would have not known what to do. He
Obama.
steps in, cool as a cucumber, and takes care of it. But then there's an argument about time, setting about.
You spring back, you fall forward.
There's not an argument, but then the whole room has to stop so we can talk about it. I'm doing important business right here about a great American classic.
Receive the notification, the distribution, if you will, from our employer that tells us to move our clocks ahead this weekend instead of behind.
Did you guys notice that he had an 8-track player?
Yes, I thought that was fantastic. You came over to my house when we played wiffle ball, Glenn, and did you listen to my 8-track player?
I did. Yeah, we did. And my dad has one.
It does not sound like any 8-track player I've ever listened to. It sounds fantastic. I don't want to uptalk my 8-track player. I'm not normally that kind of guy. I just want to talk about how awesome his 8-track player is, but it's fantastic. My parents were in the Columbia house, a little long in the tooth with the 8-tracks. Like I got a lot of 80s classics on 8-track.
Okay. Well, that's not where I expected that to go.
I'm just telling you I'm passionate about 8-tracks.
I know now. So, the girl's snooping in the barn. They get scared by the pigs. You talked about the pig mask. The sheriff speeds to the hotel. He starts snooping around, and he gets attacked by Ida, the lesbian, apparently. What I've learned tonight. Ida attacks the sheriff. She's wrestling him to the ground. But Bruce, the sheriff, apparently is a friend. No, he's a brother of them.
But later on, you find out that he left home when he was 11 years old.
Okay, here's the thing, and I don't want to get into their family tree, but him and Ida, we don't find out officially Ida's a sister till later on. Is that confirmed?
Right.
You can tell they're friendly because she jumps on top of him when he first comes over.
They seem to me they had an adversarial relationship. Ida just doesn't know how to express herself through, so she takes it out via rage. That's what I took from it.
She hasn't found the right woman. She's got a lot of pent-up energy.
Yeah.
Look, it's the South in the 80s. It's, the 80, actually.
80.
So,
correct.
She's got a lot of pent-up emotions going on. She doesn't know how to express it.
Up until the sister part, did it not seem like Ida liked him? Like, she's got jealous eyes. I don't know.
She has jealous eyes.
Maybe.
If anybody's fucking my brother, it's gonna be me.
So this movie originally was a lot darker, and there was some bestiality involved in the original script. I would like, at some point in this movie, I think I know where that bestiality was going to come in. When we get to that part, if you think this is the part where there's going to be bestiality, I want you to speak. Because I think I know when it was going to happen.
Is this bestiality?
We could be on the same page.
Is this bestiality with Ida or with Vince?
I do not know that. I did not read the original script. I just know what I've been told from people.
Okay.
By the way, Sheriff Bruce was in Chips at the time, so he was big time. He was not Punch. Eric Estrada was not in this movie. It's like I'm doing it with a live studio audience, guys. You have no idea. It's like I have an Elliot and a fucking Garon. By the way, Garon, can I comment on something real quick? You're on our show, Never Not Funny.
That's true.
Seriously, what has happened with you? You are seriously I've always been a Garon fan, obviously. Team Garon, love you. But over the last, season, it's incredible, Garon. You're like the focus of the show.
Thanks, I guess.
No, I'm not the first one to say this, obviously.
No. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't know.
You get these one-liners from out of nowhere, and they're great. I laugh out loud at least once a show the past 6 weeks from you.
Look, it took a long time to lay out the groundwork of this character, and now I can really, I can plug in those little nuggets, and they'll
Oh, what
pay
kind of
off more.
queen are you? I forgot.
A lazy one.
Mumble mouth. Seriously,
Oh,
I do want to say, I do want to give you that praise.
thank you.
At least once an episode, I'm proud to be able to say I know Garon Cockrell.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Bob and Tom recently.
Apparently your boss was recently on Bob and Tom.
He does that
probably-
often.
Oh yeah, he was in Indianapolis a couple weeks ago, I believe. So was Elliot. No, Elliot didn't make it. Anyway, this is our podcast. So anyway, there's some bestiality going on.
Okay.
With Henry?
The blonde wakes up and she wants to see Bo. That's apparently her guy. Don't you think we would have found Bo at some point, like within the movie?
Isn't he the guy who breaks out?
The old bald guy?
I think that's him.
Oh, she's got daddy issues big time.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I mean, he didn't look like when I hear Bo, I think rippling muscles.
Because I thought he was wearing like a biker vest or something.
No, you could very well be right. I actually had that thought during the movie, but I was like, "There's no way that." Well, I don't know. It was the '80s.
That was probably the casting director who just wanted to play her girlfriend. She was weird too. Like, just instantly decide, I'm just gonna live with these guys. Don't you have family or parents or somebody to talk to?
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So this girl gets into a bike wreck. They tell her that her boyfriend is dead. And they buried him without her consent. Because in this county, that's legal. All of a sudden, she just decides, I'm going to live with these people in this farm. I hate the city life. I don't know what to do. Bo died. But it makes more sense if Bo was that kind of older man who kind of...
He guided her.
He guided her around. And she's always... Yeah, okay. Things are making sense. But very weird that she just decided, I'm just going to stay with Ida and Vincent. These are my people now.
These are my new family.
These are my family. So, they go visit the grave that Vincent dug for her. It's legal to bury random people in this county. So what I wrote is they're basically kidnapping her. They are basically kidnapping her.
They just found a perfectly good white girl, and they want to keep her.
Well, I mean, she's attractive.
She's willing though, so is it really kidnapping? It's
Well, at first when I wrote that in the movie, she was kind of grief-stricken. She wasn't as willing. She became a lot more submissive and willing. I will give her that.
I wonder if they were drugging her. Maybe that's what, and they just didn't say that.
Well, maybe they've drugged in the smoked meat.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Humans are very addictive.
So, Bob the animal guy shows up. Spot check.
He checks for hooves and stuff like that.
Yeah. So he shows up. He's kind of looking around. He's going to try to snoop around, but Vincent catches him. As he gets to the 8-track fence, scary, crazy thing area of the farm. So he leaves. And we probably won't hear from Bob again. Girl, Blondie, she's staying with him, but at this point she's questioning why. Like, why am I here? Why am I staying with these people? But they make her feel good. They build her up. They tell her how great she is, especially Vincent. And Vincent has this look about him in the eye. He has his look.
Well, she's lost in 1980 America. Jimmy Carter's still president at this point. People are waiting in line for gasoline. She can't handle this. She needs a man, much like Ronald Reagan. She needs a man to take control of her life, much like he
And
took
my
control
internet
of
just shut down.
Really?
No. It would have been great. Apparently, Comcast doesn't have a sense of humor about callbacks. Okay. So, Bob the Animal Guy ends up showing back up at night. He really is curious about what's going on behind that fence. And this is where we kind of find out what's going on behind that fence.
Well, at first you don't understand what's happening. You're not sure if they're humans or not. Like what exactly is going on. Like they could be aliens, could be zombies, could be you don't know.
Well, Michael, this isn't like some crazy spaced out movie. This is a movie based in realism.
Where they kill people and make meat products. Oh, whoa!
So at this point, we also kind of learn that Vincent, it's an art to him how he traps people. Like, he has so many different methods.
There's like a chain method. He has got like a block method. He's got the cow method.
The cow method we'll hear about later. But this time we have a bunch of stoners in a van. We presume they're in a rock band. I don't know. It was the 80s. Or 80, as you mentioned. Who knows what they were doing? Maybe they worked in a record store and they were banging chicks. I don't know. But they were in this van and they were driving down a road and they got trapped. How did he trap them? Was that the bear trap?
Is this the band, or is this the part where the biggest star of the entire movie shows up? It has no lines.
And who would that be, Garon?
Mr. John Ratzenberger?
Yes, it would be that part.
This guy, one weekend, he's on House 2's lot. All of a sudden, he's at Hotel Hell. Next thing you know,
that was like 9 years difference.
Next thing you know, he's going to be on Hoth, battling the Empire. You don't know.
He's been everywhere.
So Cliff Cleveland shows up, has no lines, and him and his stoner friends get killed, kind of.
He knocks him out. Like he felt like the van flips over, then he fills the van with some kind of gas or something.
Yeah, well, he takes art in trapping.
Yes, so like I can hurt them but not kill them.
So he does so. He goes and gets Ida. We don't know what's really happening. He says, "I got a surprise for you." And they're driving in. Was it a tractor or a truck? I don't know. Truck maybe.
He does have a fantastic yellow tractor, though.
He does. But they get back, and they take off the back of it, and there's all these guys. I'm thinking, oh, the rock band and their groupies, that's the surprise. No. So at this point, he gets the big hole digger out, and they make some holes. They insert these people into the holes. But that's not the surprise. He goes and he takes off a bag off of someone, and there's Bob the Animal Guy. And they all have fresh cuts because they have to cut the voice boxes out.
Because like that's what kind of confused me at first. I'm like, are they zombies or what exactly is happening? Like, oh, they've got their no voice boxes, and I guess he planted them in the ground, and they feed them with these tubes into their mouth, and I guess they're just shitting and pissing themselves in the ground the whole time.
Yeah, I don't know what are they doing? Are they just fattening them up, or are they?
Yeah, apparently the point is that they feed them different concoctions to make them better meat substance.
Okay, is this the point where the bestiality would come into play? Is this your theory right here?
Nope.
Okay.
But I respect you sticking with the game. Thank you.
Good.
So, they plant the rock band. And this is my favorite line of the movie because it's kind of the theme. It takes all kinds of critters to make Farmer Vince's fritters. So they've planted the rock band into the ground. They've planted Animal Bob into the ground. And Ida was about to give the blonde. They decided to go on a picnic. They're gonna go on a picnic with the sheriff, with Ida, Vincent, and their new blonde friend. And Ida, do you think she's a little drunk? Why is she about to tell the blonde the secret?
I don't know. I mean, she did have the lipstick put on around her mouth, which seemed weird. I don't know. She was a weird one.
Yeah, because everything was fine, then she like goes to tell the secret. Vincent has to knock that bitch out, which
Look,
he did.
He had to put her in her place.
And he did. At that point, Sheriff Bruce is like, "This is a great time for me to take a little boat ride with my lady."
So it feels like Glenn and I had this friend named Bob, and he was kind of famous for putting in time with ladies, but never really getting past that point with the relationship. He was famous for putting in the time, and it feels like Sheriff Bruce Smith here he's putting in the time. Like they picnic together, he goes on the rowboat together. Later on that evening, I don't want to spoil anything, but they go to a drive-in, and no HJs happen at this drive-in. He is putting in the time with this girl, and he's not getting anything from her at all.
Yeah, he kind of lays the moves down there during the boat ride, and he said he gets her to the drive-in, but he likes to intimidate people, like to show his power, I think, to her. So there's a bunch of people having some naked sex.
I don't want to say bad things about cops, but it kind of feels like there's parallels between his actions and some other cops, maybe. They like to feel power, is what I'm saying.
Seriously, if my internet shuts down, I'm the one who usually gets political, and you just get so pissed at me. Tonight, you're just like political Johnny on the spot.
People, that's what you do, Glenn.
What? What did I do?
Nothing.
What did I do?
You say things about God's chosen people. That's what you do, Glenn.
Oh, the Jews.
God damn it. But yeah, he goes and he throws the lights. And this is our first nude scene, right? We see boobs, we see ass, we see downstairs, but not really. I mean, it's not Hustler downstairs, but you see downstairs. and she's. I mean, they sit there, they look through the binoculars, and they watch the movie. And it kind of seems like something my dad would do. Be like, hey, we can sit here and watch the movie for free. Like, Dad, can we just pay the $12 or whatever? Just go watch. No. We'll sit here and watch it for free. So it's kind of the scam he's running, and he's, maybe it's his airplane graveyard. It's what he wants to do, and she's not thrilled by it.
Garon, are you familiar with the term airplane graveyard? It's one that we throw around a lot on this show.
I am not sure I know what it is in reference to.
Okay, so in the movie Can't Buy Me Love, the Patrick Dempsey classic of 1987, he takes her to his airplane graveyard. That's where all the airplanes... Are you familiar with this movie at all?
I've never seen it. Never seen it.
November 1st, motherfucker. Okay, so every guy or girl has a thing that, like, they know that it's like their secret little spot. But in the back of their head, they're like, one day I'm going to be able to take someone here, and they're going to be, like, way impressed with how deep I am. In the movie Can't Buy Me Love, Patrick Dempsey has this, like, airplane graveyard where all these old airplanes are. I used to have this garden I took care of outside of this town that we lived in.
This guy had this collection of moss or something? Is that what it was? Like, from, like, 30 different countries, he collected moss. I'm not sure if that's... like horticulturally legal, but he did it. He had like 30 different mosses or something.
And so I would take care of this place, and it was my airplane graveyard, we used to joke, because I could take a girl there, and then she'd think, oh my God, he's so in touch with nature.
Come and look at my fuzzy ground.
Yeah. So...
How'd that work out for you?
Very well. Stupidly well, Garon. Chicks are dumb. I mean, I love everyone. But yeah, so everyone has this like thing in their life when they're like dating that they want to make them seem important. And we call it the airplane graveyard based off of Can't Buy Me Love, which on November the 2nd you'll know about.
I should know about that by that date.
Well, that's because you're going to use that as one of your movies. I'm just saying. It's a great movie, Garon.
I've heard good things. There's so many movies that I should have seen that I have not seen, and it's kind of ridiculous, and that's one of them.
So, by the way, real quick, do you really think you can do 365 new movies?
I do. I probably have that many on my shelf that I have not watched.
Okay.
So
All right.
it'll be tough, but I'll be able to do it, I think. Do you want an exclusive what the original idea for year 2 was going to be?
Yes.
It was going to be a podcast a day.
Really?
That's
As far as I know, nobody has done that. So
Listen to a podcast today or recorded one?
no, listen to one.
I probably listen to 10 new podcasts a week, but I don't usually listen to them on the weekends, so that would be my downfall.
It'd be hard to go one every single day.
I think you're right. Like in my job, I get to listen to a lot of podcasts, but I think you're right. Like every single day, I think a new episode, right, or a new podcast.
Like a new show, a different show every day.
Oh no, I could not do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. That'd be impossible for me to do.
Just to test him out. I did want to give a shout out to our friend Ian. He was on our Crossroads episode. He's doing 31 Days of Halloween through the Talk Without Rhythm podcast.
Oh, we're still friends with them?
We're still friends with them, and through the greater umbrella of the Drunken Zombie Podcast Network.
Oh, okay.
And he's done 31 days, 31 different movies, and he says it's exhausting. I don't know. I mean, he's producing.
He says it's exhausting. Has he met Garon?
Okay.
It's not easy, especially when you can't think of what you want to watch. So it's not as easy as it might seem.
To me, it'd be hard. Like, I'd want to fall asleep. Like, if I wasn't 100% into a movie, like, okay, I got it on the list, I'm going to watch it, like, I would fall asleep, you know?
That's the danger.
Yeah.
Real quick, while we're talking podcasts, I have recently discovered this podcast group, Radiotopia. Are either of you guys familiar with Radiotopia?
No.
So I first found it through this show called Criminal. I'm very into murder things and such like that.
Murder, She
Criminal. Fuck you. Criminal isn't just about murder. It's about all types of different crimes. And it's very NPR-ish. And I got addicted. I went through like a 5-year catalog, which they didn't do it every week or every other couple. It was just sporadic. But I went through a 5-year catalog in about 2 weeks, and I became addicted, and I started getting some coworkers involved, and like I thought maybe it was just me, but they all like just ran through them, and I was like, this is great. So then I found this other show by Radiotopia called Love and Radio, and they've been doing it since 2005, and I've run through their entire catalog, once again sporadic, and that one's more of just storytelling. But Radiotopia is a podcast network. It's kind of like an NPR where it's publicly funded, or not publicly funded, it's all through donations. But I seriously urge everyone to check out Criminal or Love and Radio first. And they have many others, but those are the two that I've started with. I guarantee you, if you like crime at all, Criminal is awesome. They have so many different perspectives on things, and it's the actual people telling the story. And so that's my plug. Radiotopia. Do it. All right. Now we're doing a movie. But really, 365 new movies in a year, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
You look exhausted just thinking about it.
So do you do like 4 on Saturday and then take a break during the week, or what do you do?
Garon watches.
It's one every day.
Oh my God.
One every day.
Yeah, and the goal or what was suggested to him for next year was 365, everyone he's never seen.
I like that idea.
See, when that was suggested, I felt bad for you. Like I was like, "There's no way he wants to do this," but you do.
I'm in. I'm on. I'm on board. It'll broaden my horizons. I'll watch things that I'm like. I started just picking movies at random on Netflix. Like, oh, I've never seen this before. This looks good, and I saw 2 good movies that way. So
All right,
we'll see how it works.
all right.
It's an excuse just to go to the theater more than I've been going.
That's true,
So
but that costs money unless you have a press pass.
I'm thinking about getting Movie Pass.
All right,
So,
there you go.
but we'll see.
So they're on their date. There's this urgent 911 call because Vincent puts fake cows in the road. And what happens, Michael?
The 2 girls. Was it the guy and the girl stop, right? No, it was 2 girls stop.
No, 2 girls.
Yeah. And they stop and they're like, "You go move the cows." "No, you go move the cows." "You go move the cows." And this is when the bear trap happens, I think, right here.
Yeah, are these 2? No, this isn't the bear trap.
Ah, God damn it.
Gases them
Yeah, he just shows up from behind the cow.
Oh, okay, that's what it
because
is.
that's how the other girl got away. Now, are they hookers or are they strippers? Because they're talking about how much money they made that weekend.
Wait a minute, is this Zola?
On who? What happened?
Oh, you guys didn't know the Zola story?
No,
Oh man.
Garon.
Look that up. It's this girl on Twitter just tweeted out this entire big, long, ridiculous story about going to Florida. She's a stripper. Going to Florida, getting caught up in trapping, which is hooking. You gotta read it. It's bananas.
When
Just
did
search
this come
Zola,
out?
Zola. This just happened yesterday or last week. No, the 26th, I think.
I feel so out of date. Usually I'm on top of these things.
Just Google Zola. And
Oh, I'm going to do it
it'll
as
be-
soon as we're done.
It's very. I don't think it's real, but it's very interesting to read. Just the way she talks and types and everything. It's
Garon, Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton, is that okay? Is that a thing?
oh, is that happening?
That's what TMZ is trying to report.
Oh man, I don't know.
I got into an argument today at work. I think it's fine, but
Well, the heart wants what it wants, I guess.
exactly. I agree.
He's not all that different from Kevin Rosdale. She must like accents.
I'm from Orange County. You talk different.
I don't know what to say.
Maybe she likes spoilers.
I'm a big fan of what you just said. MH says it's a flannel thing, but I like. I may steal that tomorrow. I may
Yep.
do it.
You're welcome to it.
I bet Blake Shelton has 4-wheelers. He seems like the kind of guy that have 4-wheelers.
Redneck. That's a song, by the way. That's a whole song he does. It just says that over and over.
Okay.
I live in the heartland. All right. So the blonde of the stripper duo, is on the run. Vincent's chasing after her. She makes a 911 call. Sheriff Bruce.
Wait. She doesn't make a 911 call.
Oh, you're right. CCB's the 911.
Yes.
Radio.
Breaker 19.
Yeah.
I need a smoky. Good call. Thank you for keeping me honest on that, Garon.
Look, prostitutes of that era have to stay safe.
These are part of that.
Did either of you guys, Garon, you grew up in basically the Midwest, Michigan. Did you guys ever have experience with CBs?
This kid who used to live near us had one in their RV, and we played with it once.
RV, Clark.
I had a sort of a fascination with them. I never really got to mess around with them, but
So
they seemed cool.
My dad was really into them, and he would always talk to the truckers about Smokies. And I remember as a kid in the backseat, like, my dad's the coolest.
What's a Smokey? Is that a cop?
Yeah.
what was your dad's handle?
I don't know. I don't know if my dad had a handle, but Yeah, you'd always the truckers would always be like, Smokey at mile marker 154. My
Love
dad
it.
would be like, thanks y'all. And my dad did not have a southern accent, but I kind of think he had one when he would talk to him.
I think that is sort of required by law that as soon as you get on a CB, you got to get that drawl going, or you're going to get in trouble.
Michael, you seem like the kid who had a CB in his bedroom and would fake things.
Are you talking to me? Are you talking to listening person in the crowd, Michael? Yeah, me and my friend Matt would do that. It was kind of. I mean, he had a pretty nice CB set up in his basement. Our big thing was to try to get them to swear at us. Once we got them to swear at us, then we won.
You know, I honestly didn't know that you seriously did that to people. I just had a presumption. By the way, I forgot, I skipped over real quick the part where he basically tried to date rape her.
Oh, yeah.
And yet, at the end, she seemed okay with it.
Yeah, just stop it.
That
Basically.
wasn't me.
Silly.
So anyway, the girl ends up getting her car pushed in the lake by Vincent. He steals her Bruce and the blonde. They come up with nothing. So Bruce takes her back to the hotel. And there's a couple there waiting to get in.
Literally.
Yeah. So
The 70s just got over. People are into different things at that point in time.
this is the quote: "I can dig it. Early to bed, early to rise. Here come the swingers." Apparently, Ida and Vincent advertised Motel Hello in a swingers magazine.
This goes back to my own personal theory that there is a swingers facility in every town. Any town over 20,000 people in America, there's something with swingers going on right now.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah. And not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, if they find joy in that, I don't think I am emotionally equipped for that. But if they are, good for them.
So at first it didn't seem like Vincent knew what was happening, but I just quickly like, hey, that's the magazine we advertised. So they basically make a swingers agreement through head nods, winks, and fist pounds.
But I mean, at this point, this kind of makes Vince even cooler. Like, man, I didn't think Vince was this cool. Like, he's a cool guy. Like, he doesn't come off as a sociopath at any point in this movie.
Well, I disagree with that.
Okay, fine. Other than the points where he's actually cutting up people and putting them in the meat, he doesn't seem crazy at all.
Right, I think that's a big other, though.
Okay, fine.
So,
It's all for the business, though. He's not doing it to be greedy.
right.
It's just the best ingredient he knows how to use.
He just wants to make the best quality meats.
Exactly. He's a perfectionist.
So, they show up in the room. They make an agreement to meet him in the room. The blonde does like a 2.5 minute whipping scene of everything possible in the hotel room.
With high kicks.
And then the guy comes out. You want to try to describe that outfit?
It was just a robe, wasn't it? Some kind of weird...
Oh, no. It was like, he had like...
It was like a jumpsuit situation, like a leotard kind of thing.
But it was see-through. And then, like, it seemed like saran wrap at top. I don't know.
Well, and then, like, he had like kind of like a Blade Runner skirt, like the see-through kind of situation. And then I think it's better when you oil up. And he also had a bra on top.
Oh, yeah. And then all of a sudden you look, and there they are, and Ida's in, like, her stocking cap. And, by the way, this is definitely where bestiality would have been involved. Because they even say, oh, are you guys into animals? And the blonde's like, kinky. They tie him up. We can only presume what they eventually did with him.
Because they kind of disappeared, right? They didn't show back up again.
No, they did not.
I don't even think they showed them in their little field.
They did not, which is why I presume this was some of the part that like got cut out
Yeah.
because they were all on board for doing some kinky ass shit.
Yeah.
Like they were asking for it. He's like beat me. He was very submissive. She's very dominant. I think the fact that they showed up and looked at Vincent and Ida and they're like, "Yeah, we'll do this," kind of gives you where their mind was.
Maybe it felt like they were doing them a favor. Like these people, Vincent and Ida, they don't really have those kind of experiences, and they're bringing the big city life to them.
So Vincent next day asks Blondie, their kidnapped / unkidnapped girl. He asks her to help him out with some stuff, and Ida realizes that means he likes her. Ida does not like this. So she invites the girl to go swimming, and then she tries to drown her.
But she also, I think before this, she also does find her snooping around the meat locker, or the killing floor of their meat processing facility.
Yeah, but only because she was looking for... I mean, I don't think she was like... I think she just was out there, like, honestly trying to find Vincent.
Yeah.
But Ida tries to kill her. Vincent does not like this. So he ends up showing up at the lake. He saves her. And then the blonde attacks Vincent sexually.
See, at this point, you see her boobs. I thought it was going to be one of those situations where you don't see the star's boobs, but you see her boobs.
Well, first, I think you're saying the word star very loosely. I mean, whatever casting
Blondie, who plays Terry, the girl who causes strife between Ida and Vincent, you see her boobs.
I mean, Seth MacFarlane would not include her in like an Oscar song.
No, he would not. I don't think so.
I saw your boobs. Anyway.
Oh, Chris Rock, he's coming back.
Let me tell you about white people. That's the worst Chris Rock of all time. You know what? I'm kind of done.
Yeah, you're gonna toss a salad.
I'm so embarrassed by what I just did. Michael,
chili. Toss a salad.
Michael, just take it from here. I can't do this anymore.
We also,
just did the worst thing ever.
We get to see the brother, Sheriff Bruce Smith. He's hanging out just in town, running the gun or whatever sheriffs do, but he's also looking at his Hustler magazine. And usually in 80s movies, it's almost always a Playboy, but here it's a Hustler.
I'm a hustler, right? Nope.
And this is when Reverend Billy, Wolfman Jack. Would you say Wolfman Jack is the biggest star in this movie, other than John Ratzenberger?
I forgot he was in that. There's so many weird elements to this movie. Like, what does Wolfman Jack need to show up randomly in this little movie for?
So he shows up and he steals the nudie magazine from the sheriff, and then he uses the nudie magazine.
Apparently, Wolfman Jack was supposed to have he had a much bigger part and it got cut out. Because every time the TV's on in the movie, Wolfman Jack's there preaching.
Yeah.
Why did he need to do this movie? Well, there's no answer to that.
Child support or something. Alimony, maybe?
I'm sure Wolfman Jack has little franchises all over the country. That's personal theory. Allegedly. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt Wolfman Jack's feelings or his children's. So he goes back home because Wolfman Jack tells Sheriff Bruce that, oh, your brother's getting married. He's getting married tomorrow. Who's he getting married to? He's getting married to Terry, the blonde girl with the boobs. That's impossible. I was just on a date with her last night. I was trying to get an HJ. And he's pretty pissed. So he barges in his house. He finds his sister with the nudie magazine, and he barges in and sees Terry in the bathtub, butt naked, and she's just there, very matter of fact, like, yeah, I'm marrying your brother. Like it's nothing.
But why did Vincent have proposed to her?
Because she needed it, Glenn.
She wanted the D. And Vincent is salt of the earth.
A man of honor. Honestly, he is the. There's a
Vincent
lot of
doesn't give the D unless there's a ring on it.
there was a lot of male protagonists in films in the 80s that are kind of gray. They're not black and white. They're not good people. They're not bad people. They're black and white. I mean, this guy right here, Vince, he is black and white. He's a white-hatted cowboy right here. He's a gentleman. I mean, John McClane, you don't know if he's a good guy or bad guy. He's, just saying. All right, so after this point, they've decided that they're going to get married. They have champagne, and this is when they drug her.
Yeah, so they drug her to
You gotta go to work.
yeah, because they had her to work. But you didn't think at first that Vincent was in on the drugging, because Ida's kind of looking at her. You thought Ida was just like gonna kill her, like with poison. But then you find out Vincent was in on it. It's just gonna knock her out because, like you said, sometimes people gotta work. Sometimes they gotta go to work. So what happens now? They're outside.
They get the weird spin wheel things, and they use that to wake people up before they harvest them.
The rocker dudes, and then they pull them out of the ground.
They get the rocker dudes out of the ground, but then apparently they didn't pack the dirt very well on the other people, so then everyone else, and they've been eating weird shit and laying in the ground in their own piss and shit, but they still come out of the ground. They seem very zombie-esque, but they want revenge.
At the same time, Sheriff Bruce, he's on the prowl. He wants to find anything that will take his brother down because he wants to bang a chick.
As much as Cherry wanted to bang Vince, Bruce wants to bang Cherry at the same amount.
So, I mean, Garon, you have to assume at this point that Bruce has lived with this for 30 years or so. And he's never once had the motivation to figure it out.
That's what you call a plot hole. Usually they do their best to cover those things up, especially when they're quite as glaring and large as this one is. One that the size it could possibly swallow a motel. But no, he apparently just enjoyed eating that meat and didn't think to look any deeper than that. But
well, sometimes you just want to bang.
Guy.
Sometimes you just want to bang. He just wanted to bang the chick.
So this is when you see the actual meat processing, and you come to the conclusion that the sheriff never once was like, hey, I want to see what's in the sausage. I want to see the sausage made. Like, he's never that guy.
Well, no one really wants to see sausage made.
But eventually he does get the gun drawn on him by his brother, and when he comes in to go see the boob, or is he seeing the boobs, and then he shotguns the wall.
Well, so what happens is that he shows up on the property. He goes into the main house. He finds Blondie. He kind of explains to her what's going on. Ida overhears it because she's making a big old stack of French toast and whipped cream.
And she has a side ponytail at this point.
That's what my daughter calls a side pony.
Okay.
I don't know. If you're like smoking human bodies, Garon, do you just want to eat some French toast?
Yeah, I'm more of a pancake guy, but
It could have been pancakes. I just saw a bunch of breakfast food and whipped cream. That's really all I saw.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know. She was going to town on everything and anything she could get her hands on.
Mostly.
Again, she didn't have an outlet for her more carnal desires, so she took it out on food.
Why didn't she try to go to town on Blondie? I mean,
it would have happened eventually.
So she overhears Bruce telling Blondie, and she's going to take matter in her own hands. Even though the People's Court every day says, don't take the law in your own hands, take them to court, she took the law in her own hands. And she takes out Bruce?
I think she knocks him out or something, and then
Yeah, something happens.
and then they go into that meat processing facility, as it was so eloquently called earlier. And then I don't know. And then he sends her off or something because she ends up outside.
Well, the garden.
Or am I back in? I think
The
I might be
garden
bouncing
comes
around.
alive, and they escape. And I think she goes outside. She shows Blondie the meat smoking room, and then the garden people attack Ida. But she shows Blondie as she's telling Vincent, like, "Hey, Bruce told her everything. You gotta kill her." And then she walks outside all cocky and smug, ready to go get her pancake on. And then the garden people, as I call them, they attacked her. We don't see her again. Presumably died. Vincent then explains to Blondie that he's helping the world out.
Yes.
Too many people, not enough food.
So he's two problems he's solving right there.
Two problems.
Again, this is a nice guy. He's doing it for the world.
Right, he has a reason.
So, Glenn, Garrett and I talked about this when you were on the show, but we talked about his favorite part of the movie. And it's the big the showdown at the end. What is it that you like about the showdown, Garrett?
It was the most action-packed part of the movie.
Well, I mean,
a cool chainsaw fight that, you know.
So this movie took 4 weeks to film. That chainsaw scene, which was not in any script, they added it 2/3 of the way through the movie. They added the chainsaw fight. That chainsaw fight took 5 12-hour days to film.
Wow.
That is a long time to film a 4-minute chainsaw fight, which I agree, best part of the movie. Absolutely agree with you. But that took like everything they had.
If those were lightsabers, this movie would be legendary. But they're chainsaws. Still pretty cool.
I thought it was good. I liked it. Did you see, Garen, have you seen The Final Girls yet?
I did.
It kind of reminds me, like, when he's standing there with the chainsaw halfway through his stomach, it reminds me of the guy from Final Girls who has, like, the thing halfway through his stomach.
Yeah.
It's
That's a great movie.
If you haven't seen it, it's pretty funny. It kind of sends up all the camp slasher movies. But I mean, mostly Friday the 13th, but other ones are mixed in.
Why didn't you ask me if I saw it yet?
Have you seen it, Glenn?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about. But I watched this movie, and then almost immediately afterwards, I got caught up on the new Fargo season. And in that,
I've only one in.
Anyway, they meat process somebody to death, or he's already dead, and they meat process him. And I'm like, oh god, I got to see more people
I'm
getting
only
cooked.
one in.
Glenn, you know what's gonna happen.
God.
The guy works. He's a butcher. He comes home. There's a dead person.
I know.
What do you think's gonna happen, Glenn?
Garen, did you watch Fargo?
I have not seen it yet.
I binge watched the first season, and it was unbelievable. I'm very excited for the second season, and not just because I love Ted Danson's.
I haven't watched any of the second season yet. I'll do on demand.
Apparently, MH is just going to on-demand that shit. That's what he's going to do.
I might do the same thing. I've heard it's great.
Apparently, Garen's going to do the same. Well, Garen, you need to watch the first season.
Well, yeah, I want to do that first.
Well, respect yourself.
What kind of? I'm not an animal.
But I guess my favorite characters in it are Charlene. From,
All right, well, let me summarize the
Designing
finals.
Women.
Let me summarize the old.
Okay.
Hold on. What?
From
Not yet,
Fargo.
not yet. No. Hold it. I need something to get me through this. So the final scene goes like this: the final 5 minutes, 10 minutes. There's a chainsaw fight between Vincent and his brother, the sheriff. Meanwhile, Blondie's
awesome pig mask.
Awesome pig mask. Meanwhile, Blondie's on a conveyor belt to get chopped up and diced and smoked.
That how is that little saw going to do anything to her?
No, it's
There's
not.
not even enough room for her to continue through it when it slices. Like her head's gonna hit the back of the wall, and that saw that is just gonna go up and down next to her head. It's not even gonna hurt her, and she's
No,
freaking out.
It's pretty horrible. But she'll perm. You never know. She'll lose her hair. Anyway, so
If anything, the hair's gonna get bound up in there and it'll stop working.
there's about a 4-minute chainsaw scene where there's a fight. Eventually, Farmer Vincent ends up getting like a chainsaw halfway through him. Gives an eloquent speech about leaving the place to his brother. He dies.
He makes a confession before he dies.
What's that confession?
He's used preservatives in his meat.
I love that.
I'm like this. Just like that right there, kind of makes it an '80s movie to me. I'm like, this is the dumbest thing in the entire world.
So the original script called for this movie to be very dark,
But this one's so lighthearted.
and then the director agreed to make it a black comedy. I don't know I don't know if comedy is a good word for it.
I don't know if director agreed is a good word for it either.
That's true.
I think agreed after he saw the edited footage. You know
Yeah.
what, guys? This is a comedy. Should have known that all along.
Yeah.
So the movie ends where we assume Ida's dead, and we know Vincent's dead, and she's just like, you gotta get, the blondie's like, get rid of this place, we should just burn it down. He's like, but I grew up here, even though I left when I was 11. And that was like the first time that came up, so that was weird and random and don't know why that happened. And then the O of Hotel Hello explodes. Motel Hell. Hit the music.
That exploded that has been out the entire movie.
Right. Is the most shocking part of this movie the fact that there aren't 20 sequels?
I'm surprised they're not. You know what? I was telling earlier, it's very. This is one of those VHS movies that I always saw on the shelves, and the case was always like, "Ooh, this looks cool. I need to watch this." And I watch this, and that pig head is in it for 5 minutes. If that thing was in it the whole movie, I think it would be an entirely different situation, but it's not.
All right, Garon.
It's a little annoying.
We're going to get you to the Midwest because it's cheaper to film here. We're doing the sequel.
You know what? I would see a remake. If they did a remake of it and they made it a little bit more intense, a little less campy,
No
I'm
remake.
on board. I'm on board.
Sequel. Motel Hell 2, Pighead's Revenge.
Ooh. Can Gordon Ramsay be in it?
Yeah, when I was looking to find this I had no idea there was a Motel Hell television program.
Yes. No, it was Motel Hell.
Okay, but
Motel
just like
Hell.
the guy is just so
Motel
negative.
Hell.
Like if I see him on TV, I immediately change the channel. Like the negativity, I don't know. I guess I like to live in my bubble where everything's happy and rainbows and lollipops.
All right, so tell me about the part I missed. Charlene was in this? Sugar Vegas?
Yeah, have you just watched episode 1? Fargo. You just saw of season 2. You just saw episode 1.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's episode 2, where she's become the new crime boss of this syndicate up in the Great White North.
The Sugar Vegas?
Yes, yes. Charlene.
Well, she was in that, but was she in this movie?
No. I wanted to talk about Fargo.
I misunderstood.
Also, Bokeem Woodbine, he is eating up the scene. It's so much fun watching him work. So when you see him on the screen, or if you see Charlene on the screen, you're in for a treat in Fargo.
I'm pretty sure you're the only person who ever described watching Bokeem Woodbine
It's a treat.
as a treat.
Well, it's seriously, it is a lot of fun to watch him. It's good. At least in this role, it's really good.
All right. Well, guys, this was awesome.
It was this horrible movie Glenn decided we should watch, but it was fun. I don't care.
Garon, of course, you'll be back soon. We love having you.
I love being here.
I don't know what to wrap that movie up with. I mean, eat smoked meats, but don't.
We should have had.
Read your labels.
The World Health Organization tells you not to eat. Michael?
We should have eaten bacon and some jerky and stuff. We should have planned this better.
I
Anyway.
did. That's why I have
Okay.
dinner.
Well, thank you all for listening, and hopefully we're back and we'll be a little more regular on our podcast drops. Thank you.
We
again,
will
everybody.
be, but hold on.
Breaking news from Glenn.
Well, first, our producer has informed us first. Hey, look at that! We have a fun new iTunes review.
I thought that was awesome.
From R3 Loy. He wants us to do The Last Dragon, so I guess we have to do it now at some point because he put it in an iTunes review and he gave us 5 stars. So if you want us to do some movie that we probably wouldn't do, leave us a 5-star iTunes review. That's what I'm gonna say about that. So now we're gonna have to do it. Thank you for doing that. Apparently you should like, comment, and subscribe. We're available on the YouTube, the Twitter, the Facebook, and the iTunes. What's our YouTube channel, Michael?
YouTube's. Hold on. I think I got it. Hold on.
Oh, come on.
You don't have it?
It's the Awesome 80s. Awesome 80s spelled out. EIGHTIES.
Okay.
Which, by the way, getting some serious play since we quit, thanks to that Joyce, that interview that I took 6 months to put together and then couldn't participate in.
Technology, man. Technology.
I still won't watch it out of hatred for the fact that I didn't get to participate in it. The YouTube channel's actually gotten very popular in the past few weeks. We have no idea why. We have no idea why all of a sudden all of our episodes have become
Well, if
very
you're new to the
popular.
podcast, get used to this quality of programming.
The Twitter at the Awesome 80s pod. When I feel like it, I post a lot, and then sometimes I don't, because sometimes I don't feel like going on Twitter.
And sometimes you post on Facebook.
Well, every now and then, but you post on Facebook like 20 times a day, and people love you for it.
All right, I'm just trying to. Honestly, I thought when Nathan sent us that review, I thought it was the Tom Selleck one, where it says this show is not Tom Selleck. The description is in the title. Anyway, that's what made me laugh. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, everybody. This is Michael.
This is Lawrence. Hey, Garon, thank you so much. Please come back more.
You know what? Like I said, anytime you guys want me.
You know what? You proved that by reviewing this movie. If anyone, which we didn't, but if anyone out there ever doubted your sincerity, Garon, you proved it tonight.
I'll watch almost anything.
Stay awesome, everybody.
Stay awesome.
Don't you forget about